On today's show, we have a special guest, Andrew Moose. Andrew is one of the founders of The Hum, a live music venue in downtown Hickory. Andrew is a Statesville native and has called Hickory his home for over 20 years after graduating from LR University. He coordinates business development for Jackson Creative, a custom communications agency in Hickory, and produces podcasts through Jackson Creative and the Mesh Podcast Network. And if you haven't checked any of their podcasts out, they have an amazing a multitude of local-based podcasts and some national stuff. So make sure you check them out as well. And he's the co-owner and operator of The Hum, which is what we're here to talk about today. Andrew can also be found playing regional festivals, concert series, and breweries with his band Moose and Friends. And Andrew is the music coordinator for Hickory's Oktoberfest, which is probably, if I'm not mistaken, Andrew, I think that's probably our Hickory's biggest event of the year, I would say.
Oh, it is. It definitely is. Mike, thanks for having me on your podcast, buddy. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. So I guess I'll give a little bit of update about the Hum, and then I'll let you kind of take it from there. So the Hum's an outdoor music venue in downtown Hickory. It's been open since 2021, and we're super excited to have Andrew on with us today to tell us about this awesome venue and to prove once again to people that say there's nothing to do in Hickory that they're just not trying hard enough. So Andrew, thanks so much for being on the show today. Tell the audience a little bit more about the Hum and what was your inspiration in getting into the live music business?
Oh, yeah, sure. Again, Mike, thanks for having me. Yeah, I've been in the music, quote unquote, music business for a while. I've been playing music in North Carolina for about 20 years now, which makes me feel real old saying that. I'm not though. I'm only, I'm not even 45 yet. So, but yeah, the Hum was manifested through a conversation at a fantasy football draft. Yeah, I know. So my partners consist of Barrett, Gavin, and Jimmy Mitchell, two sons and a father. And Gavin and I have been good friends for a really long time, and we were at a fantasy football draft, 7 or 8 years ago, and we were talking about all the things that Hickory needs, wants, and and him and I kind of struck up a side conversation about hey, what would it take to build a music venue in Hickory that is outdoors? Where are the potential spaces that are available to even think about doing something like that? And him and his family have run the Boyd & Hassel industrial commercial properties here in town for quite a while. And he's like, well, let's go shopping a little bit. Let's see what we've got. Let's see if we can make something happen. And come to find out, he called me out of my office one day and it's like, let's look at this one property. And he's like, just walk outside. And it was across the street from my office. And at the time it was, it's right for folks that do live in Hickory. Our concert venue is located about a block from the Hickory post office on the southwest side of it, and right in front of the barbecue pit. And the barbecue pit, this time when we were looking at it, you couldn't even see it from the road. There's huge shrub trees. There was a 3,000 square foot metal building sitting in the middle of our pavilion where it is now. And I look at Gavin, I was like, yeah, this is perfect. Let's do it. And it's like, we got some work to do, but let's do it. And so we kind of chuckle about it now. And now we've got, now we got a 1,000-seat general admission amphitheater, a 3-minute walk from downtown Hickory that, for by and large, people are just loving. And we're loving throwing events a couple times a month. And folks are really starting to engage us, and we're excited about the future, and just really happy that the community's bought in on our ideas. And like you said, we want to give the we want to make sure folks know that in Hickory, there are things for you to do. You do not have to go to Charlotte. You do not have to go to Asheville, et cetera, to go see live events, because we're doing them here in town,
Yeah.
and I want folks to look at our calendar and the premiere and, the things the Salt Block's putting on, and, everything that, everybody that's Heart Square is putting on a great concert series now. All these folks are putting on great events, and when I hear that, it's like, oh, there's nothing to do in Hickory. I'm like, yes, there is. You just
Yeah,
have to
just
open
look
your
a little
eyes just
bit.
a little bit. Yeah, just the amount of keystrokes it took you to write that vitriol on Facebook saying there's nothing to do, you could have found 10 things to do tonight. So I just really want to make sure that people are exposed to these things that are happening around them, because
Yeah.
there is a lot of things happening in our community, and we are really excited to be a part of it.
No, it's definitely a great time to be here. What was your biggest challenge getting this concept off the ground initially?
How long is this podcast? Obviously getting the grounds to a point where we would be able to host events was a undertaking. That took a while, and please remember, this was kind of during the height of COVID, and we were trying to basically, we wanted to open early 2021. That didn't happen, and we had like, for instance, we ordered our trust stage, where that's sitting out there that you see when you come to shows. We ordered it like in March of 2021, and it set out in port off the Gulf of California for about 6 months on a ship. So just little things like that, where you think you got everything covered, and the challenges of trying to explain to the state ALE that, hey, we're only going to be open 2 months a day, 2 or 3 days a month. They just couldn't wrap their head around it, and it just little things like that. But I will say, City of Hickory and Catawba County have been nothing but supportive for us. From the police department all the way to the county managers to city managers. Everyone has been really on board. Hank Guest was at our show on Saturday. So I think the community buy-in, I tell everybody this so many times, but community buy-in is just so important to what we do, because it's our lifeline. Like, we can try to advertise our concerts to 50 miles outside of our area, but when it comes right down to it, it's up to Hickory and Hickory, the surrounding, to be able to do this, and to keep us in business, to keep the other folks in business too. So that's our challenge, is to get people potentially off their couch and off their phone and into a live music experience, because we've seen some just trends and some essentially data points and some small survey groups that we've done, that a lot of folks, they want the concert experience, but it might be in their hand or on the TV screen or something like that. And we're trying to flip that script a little bit. We want people to start coming out, get used to coming out again. And even though everybody thinks COVID is over and everything else, there are still a lot of people that are still really, really weary about coming out to crowds. And I just want to tell everybody, our space is wide open. We are, we have almost a 5-acre plot out there. So come and spread out. You're good to go.
No, and I agree with that. And I feel like there's a lot of things that I feel like, even in our business, where like, we have like meetings and stuff, like with agents, and like, with larger groups and stuff, and even the attendance at things like that are just different now than they were before COVID, because I think people got into this headspace of being used to being at home, and it kind of, I don't know what it is, but they don't want to go out as much anymore. And so
Yeah.
again, I think your space is awesome for getting people to do that. And like I said, that's why we wanted to do this today, to kind of make sure everybody knew about it, and
yeah, certainly
knew there were options. So how many shows do you have planned for 2023? I mean, I know we're kind of like into the season pretty good now, but
yeah, well, we're only 2 shows in. We've have 3 on the books right now, or had 3 so far. We had 1 canceled because of rain. Mother Nature shows up to every event, no matter what, and that's a downfall for us though, because if we have to cancel, we can't just push somebody inside. So but yeah, we've had 2 shows already this year. We had a Pearl Jam tribute band come through in May. And then this past Saturday, June 3rd, we had the Journey tribute. and we've got, you know, 13 or 14 that are coming down the pipe now through October. We're going to try to do 2 or 3 a month. That's our that's what we've decided to do as an organization, because, you know, obviously, you know, scarcity creates demand sometimes, and we found out last year that, you know, and honestly, everybody that works at the Hum, this is all their second gig. This is, you know, a second or third gig to some people. And so we're trying to, you know, just kind of put this on as a community project.
Yeah.
And nobody's making money on this. You know, it's like we're just doing this for folks in town, for our community, to give them a different music outlet, you know. And maybe one day we'll make money, but, you know, like right now this is a community project for us, and everybody that's working with us is, you know, just giving whatever spare time they have to work with us. And, you know, our staff is like outrageously great. We have a fantastic staff, and yeah.
That's awesome. What have been the most popular types of shows that you've had so far at the venue?
Just by numbers, it's been the tributes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But, you know, we try to match the shows that we're programming at our venue to the musical palette of Hickory and surroundings. So, you know, I personally like love the tribute acts, because the musicianship is crazy. Like, I'm a musician too by trade, obviously, you mentioned. And
Yeah.
I'll just give you an example. On Saturday, the Journey band came through, and Trial by Fire, they're fantastic. They're kind of an all-star Journey tribute band, and the lead singer sounds just like Steve Perry. The guitar player is his tone is fantastic, like sounds, you know, just like the real thing. And it's just like that for everything. The Pearl Jam band was the same way.
Yeah.
And so it's really cool watching those guys kind of pay homage to the music that they love, you know. And I think it's really cool. But, you know, we also are doing a whole lot of local shows this year. We've got some help from the United Arts Council to be able to put on some local singer-songwriter bands. So that's coming down the pipe soon. We're doing a benefit concert on July 1st to help the Young Dreamers camp of the Ridgeview community. The city of Hickory puts on these camps every year for the kids in Ridgeview. And on July 1st, we're having a 4-band bill, and all the ticket proceeds are going to go to those camps. So we're hoping to be able to, yeah, for sure. And we're hoping to fund at least 2 weeks of that camp, and through that. So we're going to have, you know, we have food trucks on hand at every on every event. So we're trying to make that an all-day Saturday thing to really try to help raise some money.
That's great. So you mentioned the food trucks. How do you handle that? Is it the same ones all the time, or you try and rotate that? How does that
well, we rotate. Well, last year we had right around 22 or so events, and had, you know, 17 or 18 different food trucks come in. And you know, so, with our we have a saying that we're not a food truck venue, we're a music venue, right? So we invite one food truck to every event, and we basically was like, okay, you guys you're it. You might have 300, you might have 1,000. So best of luck. Sell food, you sell out. And so we try to get folks that are able to sell at volume, pizza and barbecue and easy turn stuff. So but yeah, honestly, the food truck vendors are really great in Hickory, and they're able to, you know, turn out at volume. We had a super long line at the Journey band show last week for the food truck, but I mean, there's people are standing in line 10 or 15 minutes. I mean, if you go to any concert ever, you're going to stand in line 10 or 15 minutes for food or beer or anything else. So we, you know, we're just fine with that. So yeah, cool. one food truck event who can do it, go at volume, and we're happy.
That's cool. I mean, I think that's a good way to handle it. And again,
yeah, for sure.
I think people have expectations for that. So how far in advance should people buy tickets if they want to see a show?
Now, buy them now.
All right.
Buy them all now. No, we honestly, almost all of our shows, we have tickets left at the gate. so
Okay.
they can come and buy. And we realized that with our price point, we're not having the Rolling Stones out there. So
Yeah.
it with a $20 ticket, but generally speaking, all of our tickets are $20 or $25. So if I'm a patron to a $20 or $25 show, generally speaking, and I know I get tickets the day of, I'm not buying till the day of either. So I understand why people don't buy until at the gate or the day of or whatever. But we try to give a little bit of a break to folks who will buy early, because, and honestly, like, if you're my friends listening to this and you're buying at the gate, you're not helping me. Okay. Like, you're not saving money, you're not saving time at the gate. So please buy tickets early so I know how much beer to buy, for
That's a good point.
goodness sake. Yeah,
You
for
guys
sure.
have beer and wine there,
Yeah,
right?
beer and wine. Yeah,
Okay.
we have our on-premise beer and wine permit through the state. Yeah.
Awesome.
And we've got great bartenders, like I mentioned, the staff. I've got three or four bartenders right now that are have been some of my best friends forever, because I've been on the other side of the bar talking to them for a long time. But if folks are familiar with the Old Hickory Tap Room and the people that work there, it's JT, Andy, and Jamie, and those guys have been there for they were there forever. So I asked them as soon as they as soon as I opened this place, I was like, I know who my bartenders need to be, because they're a draw too. They're a draw
Yeah,
too.
no, that's true. Let's see here. What's the next event you're hosting?
Oh, let's see. The next event. Today is Tuesday, June 6th. Not sure when this goes out, but our next show is Saturday, June 17th. The Wildflowers, the Tom Petty tribute band, is going to be coming
Okay,
through.
that's cool.
So we're really excited about that. I'm a big Tom Petty fan, and it's gonna be cool to see. We shared some stuff on our socials. If you haven't seen them, go check out our socials, and we've got clips and all that stuff running there, so you can see what you're in for.
Awesome. And I'll make sure I share your social handles and stuff on the show
Yeah,
notes.
please do.
Definitely, if anybody wants to check that out. Let's see here. Is there ways for the local community to support, obviously by going to events, but do you have anything else, any other ways for the community to help support what you guys are doing there?
Sure. Yeah, and we've got I tell you, I'm a big proponent of all the nonprofit organizations in our area. So one thing that we're doing is every month we're picking a local nonprofit to be on hand at our shows, and we're going to also to collect donations and all that good stuff. And we're also going to be putting links to donate in the tickets and the and a roundup option you see at CVS and things like that. So if you see that on our tickets, just know that those roundup donations are going to be going to local charities. This in June we did Safe Harbor. They were able to raise some funds at the Journey show, and then next month we're doing Cooperative Christian Ministries and Walk to End Alzheimer, and there is an equestrian group that does therapy. I believe there's called Walking for Life, if I'm not mistaken. But all those charities have partnered with us this year. So look for those folks at the shows and open up your wallet for them. I think you'll be rewarded in the end for it.
Yeah, that's cool. How about I saw something about sponsorships for the venue. Are you still offering?
Right, yeah. Oh, absolutely. Sponsors are always welcome at the Hum, for sure. I will buy as many banners as I need to. Yeah, so we have a sponsorship page on our website at thehum.live, and you can click the sponsor button, and there's a downloadable PDF form that companies can find. And because of we've already had a handful of shows, I'd be happy to get really creative with any company that might want to be involved to make it worth it for them.
Awesome. That's great. All right. Is there anything that we didn't get to cover that you wanted to kind of put out there?
Yeah, I mean, I talk fast and put out a whole lot of stuff, so I apologize if it gets kind of squirrely out there, but no, I just really do support. I really do appreciate the support that Hickory and our community at large has given us so far. I mean, we would not be open this year if it wasn't from the support this year, and we won't be open next year if we don't get support this year. So it's one of those things where the Hickory community decides whether they want us around or not. and and so far it's a yes. It's a resounding yes. So
Yeah, definitely.
we're just gonna keep putting on some shows that people want to see, and just keep coming out, keep buying tickets, keep keep telling your friends, share our posts, and tell all your friends. That's the best way.
So one thing, when people do go out there, I think I read somewhere like the bag policy for like if somebody has bags or whatever,
Yeah.
you want to clear bags or
Yeah, sure.
any
And
at all.
we strongly suggest that everybody that comes in has a clear bag. You can buy them on the internet for like $5. And it's mainly the ladies. Come on, guys. Just buy yourself a clear purse. They're kind of cute. You can get them. They have Hello Kitty on them or whatever, But no, if you do happen to show up at the gate with a regular bag, I just have to have security look through it because it's a liability, and we don't want rocket launchers and things like that getting into the venue. So
Yeah. And then as far as seating goes, if recommend that people bring blankets and or chairs.
yeah, a chair is fine.
Chairs
Yeah,
are
blankets
good.
are fine, chairs are fine. At some point, Mike, we might not. Here's the thing: the chairs take up so much room, right? If we ever were to get a huge act through, and we need to pack that place full of 1,500, 2,000 people or something like that, those chairs might not be a thing. But
Yeah.
for right now, chairs and blankets are just fine. And even bring the big reclining ones out if you want to. So
Cool. Any plans in the future for like trying to put in some seating there, or just kind of
yeah, I want to put in a
simple?
dome.
Nice.
I want a dome. That's the long-term
That would be
investment.
amazing. Yeah,
Yeah,
get like
if my partners are listening to it, yeah, we are saving
right.
for a dome right
That's
now.
good. That's
Yeah.
good. Taking dome donations.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, to the dome fund. But no, honestly, we do have some improvements that we do need to make out there that, obviously, improving our indoor space to a point to where we are able to have some folks inside. We would love to be able to build a deck off the right side if you're looking at the stage off the right side of the hill, like a VIP deck or something like that. And some other aesthetic things that are just a little bit down the road. But yeah, we've got our eye on the future, and we've got a checklist, or I've got a checklist. So we're gonna get through it at some point. Dome is on there.
Yeah,
Dome
I
is
definitely
on
like
there.
the dome idea.
Yeah, for sure. Me too.
Since I'm in real estate, do you have any questions for me? I always kind of, it's one of my ending things for
Sure. Yeah. No, absolutely. I've got a bunch of different questions for you, but the most pressing part is that I saw that everyone got their reevaluation in the mail and everything else, and I did see that City of Hickory and Catawba County did decide on a tax rate for that. So, can you explain to me, who doesn't like to read things like that, and I'd rather have experts like you tell me,
Yeah.
like, how does this affect me and my mortgage and everything else? I'd love to
Yeah.
hear that
So they
from you.
basically, once they did the evaluations, they realized that the numbers like were substantially higher than what they were 4 years ago.
They certainly were.
Which kind of scared the heck out of some people. But my understanding is that when they crunched the numbers, they were really trying to do it so that it wasn't going to really impact the community in like a really big way. So they went and kind of took what the projected income was for the budget and adjusted the rates so that it wasn't as impactful. So like if somebody's, because you had people where their tax value went up like 50% or 60%, some people, and so they didn't want people's tax bills going up that much. Yeah, mine too. So and so they lowered the rate so that it's not as impactful. And most people probably will see a little bit higher of a rate of a dollar amount, but they've cushioned the blow a bit by lowering the rate. So
yeah, I think they were trying to get it as revenue neutral as they could possibly.
That's what they were trying to do. So again, I think there probably will be, when it's all said and done, it probably will be a little bit more. But when I think the bills should be out actually in the next month or so. We'll actually get an actual bill soon. So I'll be excited to actually see like how the number shakes out. But it's not as catastrophic as what I think people were worried about when those evaluations first came out, because everybody kind of like, I got a lot of calls right after that, like, what are we doing? Do I have to sell my house now? Like I can't pay my tax.
Do I
I'm
have
like,
to
hold
move?
on.
Do I
Like,
have to, do I have to move somewhere?
yeah.
But
So
no,
I think,
I would just hate having to be the person that answered the phone the next day after those letters went out.
oh my gosh.
But yeah, as soon as I saw that, I was like, yeah, I think the powers that be, being an election year, they will they'll get it figured out.
They're
They'll
going to
get it
do the right
figured
thing. Yeah.
out.
Yeah. I kind of felt like there's no way nobody wanted to be responsible for a big tax hike
No,
like that. So,
no, and
you know,
and I do have some, you know, do have trust in our county and city officials, because I know a handful of them on a personal level, and they are just fantastic people. So,
yeah.
yeah, I knew it was going to come out in the wash. It'll come out in the
Yeah.
wash.
So, but no, that's pretty good. Um, let's see here. I think that was all I had. Any you said you have another one, or are you good on real estate?
Oh yeah. So when do you ever think that interest rates will be get back down to the point of where, 3 or 4 years ago, back when you could get a loan for 3% or something like that? Now you're lucky to get it for 6. So I'm wondering, like, if
Yeah.
you have, I mean, what do you think?
I don't unless there's a major recession, like
Mhm.
something on the scale of like COVID, I don't see us going back to that route again. I don't want to see that again either. So
Right.
my guess is that as we get into the year further, I think that the economists that we follow seem to think that they're going to start easing things a little bit toward the end of the year. And so we'll probably get back into the fives and probably settle in there for a while.
Gotcha.
And so it has been a really big shock, though, I would say, in the last, and something that we've been dealing with from a listing standpoint. There haven't been as many houses to put on the market because nobody wants to give up those rates that they got in 2000, 2000, 2001, and even up to our 2000, 2020, 21, and 22. They don't want to give up their 3.5% rate, or some people got like 2.75. Some people got lucky there. So I mean,
Right.
those people, they're in their house, they're not going to want to give that
They're
up
not moving. They're
and
not
buy,
moving.
buy something else and have to pay close to 7. So,
Right.
but I think when we get to a point where we're in the fives and they need a life change and, they need a bigger house or they need to downsize or whatever, I think that's not going to be as impactful. And I think people will be more likely to kind of move things. But right now, the market's a little bit frozen because
Right.
a lot of people want to put their house on the market. And so
I got you.
that,
Well, I'm also really thrilled to see, and I know I might be in the minority on this, but to see the growth and the building projects that are going on in Hickory.
yeah.
Just, especially where we are, Habitat for Humanity did, probably 20 houses back there in the Ridgeview community, where Hampton Heights Golf Club used to sit. RIP, love that place. Hey, it's gone. But I realized that people need places to live, and then
Yeah.
even by like behind the Hickory Tavern on 26th, like, or it was 29th.
Yeah.
So all these huge housing communities are being built currently. So do these people already live in Hickory, or are we trying to attract people to Hickory by these developments?
I think it's a
What do you
combination.
how is that? What do you
Like
think?
the Chamber of Commerce a couple of years back did a survey, an employer survey, and they said
Mhm.
that one of the things that's impacting them from hiring people and people not wanting to come here is because we didn't have enough diversity in housing for people, like either really like nicer rentals or
Right.
construction. I mean,
Affordable starter homes.
yeah, I mean we have like one of the oldest housing inventories in the state. And so, and we kind of lost like almost 12 years of growth after the financial crisis, that people
Mhm.
just stopped building in Hickory, except for a few things here and there. So we're like years behind and catching up.
I
So
got you.
I think it's a combination of things. I think there's demand here for it now, but then there's also the companies that are hiring that are struggling to bring people in because they don't have anywhere to house them when they do bring them
Right.
here. So I think it'll
Gotcha.
be good for everybody. I think, we'll increase the population here. And then the people that are having life changes, I think they'll have somewhere to go. But
Great answer.
hopefully.
Sounds like you do that for a living.
Yeah,
You sounds like you talk about real estate for a living, Mike.
yeah, you would think.
Right.
But all right. Well, Andrew, cognizant of your time, and I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us today about this.
You got it.
We're really, really excited about this venue, and really glad that you guys made that investment. I think it's been for the good of the community, and just from everybody else in Hickory, we appreciate that you did this. So thanks so much for being on the show. And I learned a lot. I think the listeners learned a lot, and hopefully people keep coming out to see live music, because I think that's really important.
Absolutely. And, thanks again for having me on. And for our full schedule of events, head to thehum.live. And yeah, we're gonna be here for a while. So just folks, keep coming. We appreciate it very much.
Nice. Well, thanks again, and we'll talk to you soon.
All the best, man. Thanks.
All right. Thanks.